going. What's a Humvee?
A Humvee is pretty much a military Hummer. It's usually the doors are usually really flimsy. They would pretty much be like a whiteboard, actually thinner than a whiteboard. And for the windows, they're not roll up windows. They're actually you gotta zip them windows. So if you're to like get some air, you gotta unzip it and not roll it down. And Humvees are just like they're really weird vehicles. They're hard to drive, and if there's something wrong with it, then you're the one who has to fix that problem. It's like when it comes to like a Humvee, it's kind of like picking out a good shopping cart at a grocery store. If you have like a busted one, you gotta deal with it, I guess. But pretty much a Humvee is, like I said, a military Hummer.
Okay. So like the ones you see in movies.
Yeah, like the
Okay.
tan ones.
I was gonna. The question I was gonna ask was, can you take me through a moment where you felt afraid when you're deployed, when you're in the military, and what happened?
I guess I was the. I guess the moment of fear was being deployed. Like I don't know how people would take that. Like if someone told you, "Oh, you have to be deployed," like we're about to be deployed right now. How would you take that? Who would you call? How many people could you call in that amount of time to like, "Hey, I'm getting deployed. If something happens, then you know." So I was thinking, do I call the most important people? Do I call the non-most important people to let them know first, in case something happens, in case my mom doesn't know these people, and they be all like asking, "Well, where's Rob?" and such, and they get bad news. So I guess the greatest fear is getting on that plane and knowing that you're getting deployed, because even though you know all that information, you don't know if you're coming back. It's pretty much like playing a very long 9 month Russian roulette, because you could be here today and not be there the next day. And it happens. It happens a lot when most uh, most soldiers are sleeping. They usually like Afghanis usually really attack at night, and that's one thing that also feared me too. Like got me scared too. Is can I ever sleep?
Were there any times that you were attacked at night?
There was zero chance. There were zero times we were attacked that night. Um, don't know why people hyped it up so hard, but we had no attacks that night. We slept soundly.
Did you witness any buddies you had while in combat? Did you witness anyone get injured or killed that you actually saw?
Yeah, actually, on my second deployment, when I was driving through a minefield, and I was, as a combat engineer, I'm sorry, we have to, when we're driving through a minefield, we have to search for mines with pretty much like this stick that looks like a screwdriver, and we have to hold it in our palms, 45, like pretty much in our palms, with the thumb over 45-degree angle. And the reason why we have to do that is so we won't hit the ball, like hit the explosives, and it blows up in our face. So one thing I experienced when I was driving through the landmine and pretty much searching for the landmines was when I got out the car and I had a battle buddy in the car with me, and I was pretty much checking to see if there was explosives on the minefield, pretty much active explosives on the minefield we were at. So as I was checking, he decided to get in the driver's seat and drive the Hummer a little further than expected. So when he did that, he drove about 500 meters till the Humvee blew up instantly, because he drove over a anti-tank mine, and the Humvee blew up. I just saw I just heard it like the engine roar, and then a few feet, And then he kept driving till he got to that point, and I just heard a huge explosion, and I looked behind me, and the Humvee was 9 feet in the air, just engulfed in flames, and then it just fell right back on the fell right back on the field.
Just like back on the
Yeah,
field.
it fell right back on the field, and when it blew up, I thought I was far enough where I would be okay, but unfortunately, when the Humvee blew up, pieces of the Humvee came at me, and it cut me right here in the side. So I had like my whole lower body stitched up, well, pretty much wrapped for about 6 weeks.
What do you know? What that experience was like? Were you afraid when something was coming at you, or were you more thinking about it was your friends?
When that experience happened, I was thinking more about it was just, it was weird because I don't know if I were to be more afraid. I don't know if I were to be upset because I don't know why the person decided to get into the driver's seat when we're in a minefield. I was confused. I didn't know what happened. I just was checking the field, and all of a sudden hear an explosion. And of course, it startled me because it came out of nowhere. It scared the life out of me. I wasn't sure what to do at that point. But I ran back to our area we were at, the fob, and I told my higher officer, well, pretty much my sergeant, platoon sergeant, and I let him know what was going on. But that experience just made me think that you could go just like that.
Oh shit! The whole Hummer thing. Were there just one person inside the Hummer?
Yeah, there's this Hummers are well, the Humvee's usually a two-seater.
I'm gonna, if you want like show like things like if you're gonna like do something like this like a motion, I'll make sure it's in the shot. So right now I
Alright.
can see up until like right here. Okay, yeah, now I can see your hands. So I don't know if you want to even like show your tattoos, because I know you mentioned the tattoos.
Oh yeah, about the tattoos. Well, I couldn't be in the Marines because my tattoos were too close to my wrist. Well, too close to my hand. Yeah, those little NorCal
So
stars.
I'm gonna have the shot just like this. If you want to actually talk about them, like we talk about them, like put them back where they were.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now you can just talk about them, like with your hands down, like why, like just to say something about them.
Well, I actually got these when I was 18. I was like, why not? I mean, I'm from NorCal, and I really liked the design of the NorCal star, and I guess I did the flames just as I don't know. I think I got this idea from my cousin, but the reason why, this was the reason why I couldn't join the military, because my tattoos were super close to my hand. And I believe it's because they wear their uniforms so tight, and I pretty much so fitted that my tattoos would show, I guess, through my uniform. So that's the reason why I'm not in the Marines and I'm in the Army.
So why can't you have your tattoo showing? This is not part of the interview, but I'm just curious. Like, why can't you have tattoo showing?
It's pretty much a uniform thing. You can't really have tattoos on the hand, the neck, the face, or of course gang-related tattoos, of course. But it's just a uniform. It's just a uniform protocol. Make sure your uniform's like not all messed up, and even permanent ink can mess up your uniform if it's at a wrong spot.
Was there ever a time that you felt you were alone, or did you always feel like you were protected, or you had like family, like your brothers around you?
I really never felt alone because I was always doing something. I was always doing something to keep myself occupied because if you're over somewhere in a foreign place and you don't know what to do, then you could possibly just go crazy because you're on deployment. There's a possibility you could be killed. You don't know the language there, and you're pretty much just there to do a job that you're really not too sure of. So I really pretty much kept myself occupied, either talking to family members or talking to my battle buddies that were along the side of me, or writing letters to families or family. One thing I always remember or always would think to say is, I'm my own. You're your own worst enemy. I'm my own guardian angel.
I see that. Is there something that you brought with you?
Yeah.
About that?
And this actually got me out of a lot of situations where I could have been killed or so.
So, get a good shot for this. Hold up. Okay, I'll let you know what's in the shot so you know like what it. Okay, so I have